Welcome back to another episode. And this is kind of a fun one. We get to talk about some of our favorite old school systems. The Super Nintendo
and the Super Famicom.
Absolutely. And what we're going to do today is talk about the differences of these two systems and what our initial impressions were of the Super Famicom and our impressions of when the Super Nintendo finally hit shores over here. So, should be kind of fun. So what was your first experience seeing the Super Famicom and your excitement for it? Where did you first hear about it?
You know what? I think I first heard about it in Nintendo Power magazines. There were a couple of little sketches. Back in the day, they even still did that sort of concept ideas of what it might look like. And they, of course, hyped that it was going to be coming out and that it was coming to Japan and that, you know, this new thing was going to be showing up in stores and a new game system, which was amazing because the Genesis had been out in 16-bit for how long?
Yeah.
But actually seeing it the first time, there used to be a video game store near us called Willow Video Games.
Yes.
Remember those guys?
Import place. They used to import a lot of stuff in.
They did amazingly. And this was the first one I remember them doing it with, but they got it overnight couriered from Japan. The day after it launched, they had it available for rent, and I rented it. I was the first guy in there to rent it. And I had to sleep over with a friend of mine, and I think it was like $40 for 2 nights. And it
Not bad for that machine and being brand new back then, actually.
And it was this machine, the 2 controllers, and Super Mario World. Yeah. And it was, what a religious experience. That night is burned in my memory.
You son of a bitch, because you got to play that game. I didn't play that till the Super Nintendo launched.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And it's so funny, he did it with the N64 as well. I came over and he had imported an N64 for Mario 64, and I got to see that. That was really great, but I didn't have that experience with that, so I didn't play it till the Super Nintendo. I went to the States to pick it up, but...
We finished it that same night, the whole game.
No way.
We didn't find every secret level, there was no way we would have, but we got all the way into World 8 and kicked Bowser's ass. First night.
You got your money's worth.
Oh, we got our money's worth.
That's pretty cool.
And you know what? I have all of the music, the fireworks sound effects, every level, all of it was just so... It was the best way to experience this system. And to be honest, let me just say this. I opened up, they came in those old black plastic briefcases, right? I lifted the lid on that, and what I saw was this. Now, the sleek, smooth lines, the nice rounded shape, the eject button, the cartridge slot, even the cartridges with these nice rounded cartridges. It had this symbol, which I have always loved.
I gotta chime in. I love that symbol. I just think it's so cool.
And this, okay? Now, look at those buttons. Don't they look like candy? Don't you want to eat those fucking buttons?
It looked like fun, right?
It looked like fun. It was packaged fun, and this was beautiful.
Yeah.
And playing this game, playing this system, my initial impression of it was that it was just so well designed, so beautiful, so sleek. Just it was what the next generation of consoles should look like.
Yeah.
You know, that was.
So I have to chime in. I have to pick it. This design is just so damn cool. Like, we can't explain to you at that time seeing this, and you got to see it in person. I only got to see it in video game magazines. You know what this was going to look like. I couldn't believe how cool it looked. I'm like, God, I can't wait till we get this.
Yeah.
Where that's the interesting thing here. We didn't get this. We got this. Now this is a fan-fucking-tastic system. We love it. But what the heck happened? What happened here? Look strange.
Smooth, rounded lines, sleek, curved. Looks like the future.
Very boxy.
A box.
Yeah, pretty much.
I understand. I mean, the game cartridges were bigger for the Famicom, for the Nintendo in North America than they were for Famicom. Yeah. The system was bigger. I know that whole bigger is better mentality of the '80s for North America was there,
really?
but I don't know. I don't know why they felt they needed to redesign it.
And don't you remember there was a whole bunch of pre-designs of what it was supposed to look like as they were redesigning it, and it was like, oh, okay. And to be honest with you, when I went down, it didn't ruin anything.
No.
When I went down and picked up, my parents took me to the States and we picked up Super Mario World and this, it came all as one. And I came back and opened up, I'm like, well, it's not the Super Famicom, but I'm like, well, it's the Super Nintendo. And I cared about the games, right?
Yes.
Obviously we cared about the games, but what a weird design. And still to this day, it's so many years later, we still can't get over it. We really wish we had that design, you know. And here, okay, how about you hold it? I'll hold this one.
I'm sorry, guys, but that's...
What about the contour, though? They said that you could actually, it was easier, you know, to press the buttons.
Okay, yeah,
Over that, you'd slide. Do you know what the thing was? I remember them saying back then is that they were worried that people would think all the buttons are the same as they're playing. They wouldn't know what they're pressing. But remember, this was the first controller to have so many buttons.
It was also the first controller to do these right here. Yes,
yeah, shoulder buttons.
Nintendo has been innovating and leading all of the technology for how long? With the shoulder buttons, with multiple buttons on the face. Okay, Genesis had 3.
Yeah.
They stepped it up and made 4.
Yeah.
But it was such a beautiful system.
Yeah.
When this one launched, and I'll admit, I mean, I saw them before I bought one. I didn't get it on launch day.
Yeah.
I never complained. I never had a qualm with it,
Yeah.
but I just remember how beautiful this was.
Yeah, all we're saying here is that we just think the original design is just fan-fucking-tastic. And, you know, it's so fun. I pick up my old Super Nintendo controller, and have you noticed there, but the right shoulder... Yeah, the right shoulder button is in, pushed in there. And do you know what did that for me? Was Street Fighter. I'd always be doing the hard kick. I'd always have it mapped to that. I was bang, bang, din, 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 din. And after a while, it just KO'd. Caved in, I should say, right there. So
most hardcore gamers, if you look at their Super NES controllers, the little pin locks on there are broken on both the shoulder buttons.
Here, we were looking for this controller actually before we did this, and I found my original one. This is true. Look at this. Look at this son of a bitch. This thing is frayed right here. And right here, I guess, I don't know what happened here.
Taped it up, or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, but yeah, this is my original. Actually, this one, no, this is bad.
It's KO'd.
Do you know what? This was the better one of that. Which is kind of funny, but you know, it's so funny. The launch of these systems was so phenomenal. This launch was probably one of my favorite launches. There's been a lot of great system launches, don't get me wrong, but I really enjoyed the Super Nintendo one. Final Fight. That was a good one.
Nintendo's Big 3 made their entries on this system. Each of them had a game on it. Super Mario World is my second favorite in the entire series, behind Mario 3. Super Metroid. Definitely my favorite Metroid game of all time.
You know what?
Absolutely.
I can honestly say that. I like Prime, but Super Metroid, nostalgia, come on.
And of course, A Link to the Past, which is, to me, my favorite Zelda game ever, and all the memories.
You know,
of that
I got so many of those, but you know, some of the launch games that I never get a chance to talk about that I really loved were like ActRaiser.
Oh my god, what an amazing game!
That was such a great game. I remember the first time I saw ActRaiser's graphics, I'm like, wow, it really is the arcade at home. We finally hit that point, and I was blown away by that. Obviously, Final Fight I was blown away with. I was kind of upset the guy wasn't in it, but we, you know, later on did get that. But like Super Castlevania. There's so many phenomenal games that you can go on about. So guys, this is just some of our memories on the Super Famicom and the Super Nintendo, what we thought of the appearance of these machines at the time. And I'm gonna open it up to you guys. Make a video response. Please tell us what you think of the designs. Did you enjoy the Super Famicom? Did you prefer it to Super Nintendo? Vice versa? Let us know. As we say, these are just some of our opinions, and we like the Super Famicom look. We always thought it was a very cool system, but we'd love to hear what you had to say as well. So anyways, guys, until next time.